Hello and welcome back to New World. So there's a brand new hyper-realistic life simulation game called InZOI that is releasing this year, and I got to play the game early. Yes, 6 months ago I played about 15 hours of the game, but now 6 months later, after a long waiting period, I was able to play InZOI again, and I'm about 40 hours into this game. So I have a ton of stuff to talk about. They added in new features, they added in new gameplay mechanics, they added in cars, and a lot of things they added in with the karma system as well, and they also fixed some things. So we have a lot to talk about in this video. I'm not gonna waste any of you guys' time. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button down below as we have a ton of content releasing for this game. Now, I also want to say thank you to Krafton for being able to let me play this game early and give my full opinion about this game. So I'm not going to give y'all any BS. I'm going to tell y'all what I like about the game, what I don't like about the game. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I'm not about to waste any of you guys' time. Let's go ahead and hop into the brand new InZOI experience. Now, first things first, let's talk about performance. Now, I was playing this on an RTX 4090, a Ryzen 9 7950X 3D with 64 gigabytes of DDR5, 6000 megahertz RAM. So I'm playing this on a really good computer. Now, graphic settings, I ran this at ultra high. I also had DLSS on quality, and I also had frame generation on. I also ran the DLSS 4 override. Shout out to Boring Bones for helping me with the configuration. So the game looks really, really good, and surprisingly, it looks better than it does in native. Now, what I mean by that is when you're playing the game natively with no frame gen or no DLSS on at all, the image is significantly softer than when you run it with DLSS 4 with DLSS on quality. It looks totally different. The image is just a tad bit sharper with DLSS on than it is with it off. Now, when it comes to performance, running this game natively, I was at about 65 to 70 FPS. That is about a 5% increase from when I previously played the game 6 months ago. And now when I'm playing it with DLSS on with frame gen, I'm averaging around 120 FPS. So I get a significantly better and sharper image quality. I get better performance. When it comes to that aspect, it is a win-win for me, especially when this game has so much graphical fidelity. I am now able to play this game over 100 FPS with DLSS on and also not sacrifice image quality at all. All right, so let's move on to Create-A-Zoi. Now in Create-A-Zoi, there are 6 different ages that you can choose from when you are creating your character. You have child, teenager, young adult, adult, middle-aged, and senior. Yes, with each of these different Zois do have different time periods that go in between when they each age up. Now, the Create-A-Zoi is absolutely phenomenal. It looks really, really good. These characters look realistic. Like, they are some of the most realistic characters that I've ever seen in gaming. You can literally create any body that you want. Now, the canvas was not open for us during this playtest period, so I wasn't able to, get some Zois from the very, very talented creators. So I had to build everybody by myself. It took a lot of time, but it really helped me understand some features, learn about the thing more. So as you're seeing in this gameplay, I'm creating myself. I also created other Zois around the world that kind of fit the immersion that I wanted, because I wanted to make a really good InZOI save file that we're going to be able to play if you guys want to tune into that as well. We got different lore, a whole bunch of things that we're going to go talk about in the gameplay section. But in the Create-A-Zoi, there are tons of new features that we weren't able to get before that I know you guys are going to be extremely excited about. We have new features like piercings. We have facial piercings, we have different nose rings, we have different lip rings. There's also tattoos in the game. They're kind of introducing it a little bit. So we have different neck tattoos, you have face paint that you can put on your Zoi now. There's also new things like custom necklaces. So you can go in and make a custom necklace. For right now, you can change the pendants. You can also change the different necklace type that you want. There's also the implementation of creating watches. You can change the different watch faces, the bands, the color of the watches. There's also the ability to change different shirts. So if you're going into Create-A-Zoi and you're trying to create a certain shirt that you want and you can't really find the fitting, you can go head over to that custom tab and create a shirt of your liking. Now, they do have things like AI textures as well, so you can go in and type in a texture, but they also have the ability to be able to load in a texture from your picture. So in my InZOI save file, I have this company called Zogue, and they're basically a fashion company. So I ended up just creating their logo and putting it on the clothes, and it really fleshed out the creativity for me. And it was very easy to do. It didn't take but like 2 seconds. Loaded up Photoshop, typed it in, put it there, made sure I copied the exact swatch number so I knew that the colors wouldn't be too different from the shirt, and boom, it is that easy. And your creativity can go anywhere. I know there's a lot of very creative people that know how to make realistic characters. So being able to do that is insane. Now they also have different body types. They also fixed the ability to be able to make bigger sizes of certain parts of the body. They increased the scaling a lot more than they did last time, which is cool. You're also able to make plus size Zois as well. They also implemented a feature where you can be female, male, or non-binary. So they have a lot of different features in the Create-A-Zoi that weren't here before. They also added a couple of different hairstyles, and I'm going to be honest, they did say that they added some black hairstyles in. I only seen about two different hairstyles. I don't know if this was different between the playtest version and the early access version, because we kind of got two different things. But if these are the black hairstyles that they are talking about, I mean, they look good, but they also don't look great, and I also want more. So that was something that we addressed inside of our chats, that we really do need some more hairstyles. Like, these look good, but this isn't, like, come on, this isn't what we wanted. But I'm going to give them, you know, a little bit more time. It is an early access, so this is the playtest build, so I'm not going to do too much, but just let them know we need more hairstyles. This is cool. This is not what we asked for. But like I said, they gave me the ability to be able to be honest with y'all. So I'm trying to be as honest as I can. Now, a really cool feature in Create-A-Zoi is the implementation of live link. Yes, you can use your phone to be able to talk and make different emotes with your face. So as you're talking, it syncs with your face, and they also added in neck movement. So now it's not as stiff anymore. You can move your neck around, you can talk. And yeah, it is a really, really cool feature that you're able to do. Now, one of the coolest features that I have seen, and it's going to be extremely innovative, and I know modders and a lot of people that make machinimas are going to love this. They've added in a AI emote feature. So what this means is you can take a pose from either yourself or online, and you put that pose into the AI generator, and it will try to generate the pose. Now, it's not perfect. It is in development right now. Hands aren't really synced up as well, so their hands are going to look like this. So when you're trying to create, it's going to look like this. But I really like this implementation of this feature. This is really, really cool, and it does need a little bit of work, but I know modders are going to love this. I know machinima makers are going to love this. This really enhances the ability to be able to create any type of Zoi you want, any type of storyline you want, any type of thing you want. And also, yes, as you can see in this, you're also able to kind of tweak different lighting. So if you want it to be moody, you want to change the background colors, you can do that as well to make the perfect Zoi that you want in this game. All right, so now let's head over to gameplay and what gameplay features has InZOI added. And they added a ton of gameplay features. Now I'm going to go over as much as I can because there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I probably missed out on. To start off, I'm going to say that gameplay feels completely different than The Sims 4. When you walk into the game, you have WASD movement. There's also cars around in this game, so you can buy and purchase your own custom cars. They also have Hyundai cars, and these cars look really good. It goes to show the model texture and the quality that can be implemented into this game. So like I said, I'm very keen on modders. Modders should be very excited about this, because us being able to add in more cars, and hopefully in the future we get more additions of realistic cars in the game, is really, really good. But when you sit there and you control your Zoi in this game, you press the home tab, you put the walls up, you feel like you're inside of the game. This is a very immersive experience. It looks really, really good graphically. This game is gorgeous. This is a beautiful, beautiful looking game. There are some bugs. I'm going to talk about that later in this video. But as of right now, from the graphical side and how beautiful this game is, it is insane. They enhanced the lighting from the last time that I played. So now the sun hits perfectly. They also kind of enhance and add in a little bit more stuff in the world. So like the cafe looks different. There's like graffiti on the walls. There's the implementation of being able to add signs and things like that inside of the game. Yes, you can control signs, weather, all of this. And what I did was, when I told you about the Zois that I made, I ended up making the model sims for it and putting them on the billboard. So as I'm walking around in the game, I see different billboards of the Zois that I created in this save file, and it looks and it feels so realistic. And I was able to do that, where when you hop into the game and you hop into the gameplay experience, it is up to you to create what you want to create in this game. So if you want to create models and you want models to be on a billboard, you can do that without having to add mods. If you want to live a extremely rich life, you can. If you want to live an extremely poor life, you can. The gameplay feels very, very good. And we're going to go a little bit more deeper into the gameplay. So let's go ahead and hop into relationships. So like in the previous video that I made about InZOI, there are 3 different tiers. You have the business tier, the romance tier, and the friendship tier. Now, the business tier is relatively the same. You talk to Zois a little bit more. The more that you progress and the more that you talk, you unlock different social abilities to be able to say something different, or have different animations and things like that. But let's talk about the romance tier. Now, InZOI did say that that they wanted Zois to be just a little bit more intimate and a little bit more affectionate. Now, they have new romance features, of course. You can now kiss your Zois, you can do heartfelt hugs, you can give gifts, you can plan dates. Now you can do things like date features and scheduling. You can now schedule different events for your Zois. So if you want a Zoi, you want to have a whole bunch of people meet up at the lounge, you can go to each different Zoi around the world, set their schedule, and be able to go there together. Now, it does require a little bit of work. I really hope it's a little bit easier to do, but as of right now in the playtest version, if you want to have all your Zois kind of meet up in one spot, you can now set different schedules for those Zois. But going back into romance, now the romance factor is pretty decent as far as what you can do, things you can say. I really love when you are able to talk to these Zois. It doesn't feel like The Sims at all. It has a different vibe to it. They play off really well, like different things that you can say with different Zois. I like it. It feels like the conversation topics are just a little bit more modernized and more realistic than gameplay wise. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but it just has a different feel to it. I don't know if I'm doing that correctly, but it does have a different feel to it. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy about the showers and also the animation feature when it comes to getting a little bit more intimate with the Zoi that you met. And I'm gonna be honest, the new animation that they replaced from the animation to this like new hearts sparking feature, I like the animation, but I don't think people are going to like it at all. It really does fill up your screen, and you can kind of see like the Zoi's eyes, they're like black, so you can tell they're just laying in the bed. I don't know what that's about. But as far as the romance feature is concerned, they added in a little bit more intimacy in the game. You can you know, peck and give hugs and things like that. But as far as going beyond that and going into a more intimate setting, it is very, very T-rated. I would say it's very T-rated. So I don't know how people are gonna feel about that. I know that might be a little bit controversial, but based off what we got, I like the animation, but I don't know. Maybe they could do something about that because it is in early access. So we gotta let our opinions be heard and say, look, we might want something different than that one. Another really cool thing about your Zois is now the Zois have preferences. So there are different preferences in the game that you can set what Zois like. It's very easy to do. It's like very simultaneous. You click it, menu pops up, select it on and off. You don't have to go through a whole entire loading screen to set it. Like, it's very easy, simple, to the point. Your Zoi likes this and that. And when you choose the traits that you make in Create-A-Zoi, it does kind of flesh it out for you already. So you don't have to do too much, and it's not too random. It just makes sense. It fits for your Zoi. Now, inside of the game, you are playing and you are talking. You do have skills and things like cooking and music producing skills. And in this video, I'm showing you guys one of the features that I like a lot about the skills, and I made a Zoi that really enjoyed music. As you can see, I kind of customized his room, gave him like he likes real rap, so he likes the Kendrick Lamar's, the Tupac's, like he likes that kind of rap. There's an ability to make beats. Like, you can make beats and kind of fill that skill up, and the more skills that you have, the more beats that you can make. So I was having him go in, having his sister come in the room, like listen to his music, catch a vibe with him, talk about music, and it was a very, very fun and cool experience that the more that you play with these Zois, things unlock. One thing that I can say with the cooking skill, the higher your cooking skill, the more full your Zoi does become. So if a very high cooking skill and you are eating food, the bar is going to fill up to almost max. But if a Zoi and they don't know how to cook, you're gonna be hungry again in a couple hours. It's only so many noodles that you can eat until you're like, yo, I need some real food. So that's a really cool experience when it comes to InZOI and about just the skill system. Now, going beyond skills and abilities, there is a karma system, and the karma system in this game is really, really good. Now, when you are inside of the game, you can be a good Zoi. It tracks like all of the Zoi's different karmas and things like that, so you can see it. But with different karma comes different ways that people interact with you in this world. So if you are a good Zoi, you receive gifts. A lot of people open up to you more. Your friendship bar goes by a little bit faster. Like, it plays off very, very well when it comes to being a good Zoi. But let's talk about the bad ones, right? I made a Zoi called Mr. Greg Gregingson, and he is an old guy. He stays in like a very rundown apartment, very old, very just like you could tell he wake up and he just want to be annoying. I gave him a green old guy car, and I just wanted to be a terrible person. So for 40 minutes straight, I was just going around being a terrible Zoi. I was extorting people for money. I was dropping trash on the floor. I was farting in public places. I was causing arguments at restaurants and on the side of the street. I was punching officers in the face. Now, it took a lot for my Zoi to be able to go to prison. And yes, I said go to prison. I was at a stop sign and somebody decided to say something to me because my karma is bad, and he just wanted to yell at me like, what are you yelling at me for? So I punched him in the face and then I extorted him for money. And I thought it was nothing. I was like, man, I wonder when the cops are gonna come. There was about 4 cops that ran up on me on screen, and I was like, yo, no way this is happening. I thought the police system was broken. No, it's not. And I got put into prison. And I don't know how long, it didn't tell me how long I was gonna stay in there, but I was playing the game for about an hour. I was still in jail. So I don't know how long he got arrested for. I don't know what case they built up with me, but there is a police system and it's not perfect. I do wish I got arrested as soon as I punched a cop in the face, but that's not what happened. But these are the gameplay things that I was able to experience in InZOI that have really made me like, yo, this is a, they cooked. I'm not gonna lie, they did a very, very good job. Of course, when it comes to gameplay, can your Zoi go to work? They can drive, they can go to prison, they can do X, Y, and Z, but can your Zoi go to work? Yes, your Zoi can actually have a job and they can go to those jobs. Now, they also added in a couple of rabbit hole jobs that I think they're trying to flesh out behind the scenes to make those jobs actually enterable. Like you have law firms, you have sports jobs, you have the regular, business jobs as well. Now, the jobs that you can go into, there are a lot of jobs that you can go into, but you can work in the furniture store, you can work at the restaurant, you can work on the beach. So there's a lot of things that you can do in the game from a job experience, and you can actually go to those places. All right, now speaking of gameplay, let's talk about one of the most hyped up features about InZOI, and that is SmartZOI. Now, what SmartZOI is it's basically an AI feature that gives your Zoi the ability to think and have thoughts, and you can see what they're talking about. And it is a very, very cool feature that I think really does add and enhance the gameplay experience. So when you're going around and you're just playing the game, you can switch it on to off. It's very simple. You go into settings, you can turn it off for everybody, or you can just simply turn it on, and then you're also able to, if you really want to turn it on, you can just hit the swatch at the bottom right hand side of your UI, and it is very simple, seamless, to the point. It adds in that extra layer of immersion for you, so you're able to really just see what your Zoi is thinking, what they're talking about. Perfect example, I'm using my music Zoi once again. What I did was I just typed in, he enjoys music, right? And he wants to talk about music with his family, or he just wants to record and make music. And he goes around and he talks to his mom about, K-pop industry and talk about songs, and he just goes around the house and talks to his parents and like everybody around the world about what he's passionate about. And he says, oh, I really like this feedback, I'm gonna go in and I gotta make something creative, I gotta do it. But one thing about SmartZOI, it is very much in early access, so a lot of the things start to get a little bit repetitive when it comes to the thoughts. It's like, yeah, I like this, I gotta channel this into something, I gotta channel this into something, I gotta channel this into something. And then when they say that, the only thing that I have to say about it is my Zoi is a music Zoi, and he talks about music, but he doesn't make it on his own. I have to go in and I have to click the piano or click the computer to, compose those beats and things like that. So when you enable it, just know that you're enabling it, and you can't just sit back and they'll just do a whole bunch of things that pertain to the task, but they will talk about it. And that in and of itself is very innovative. It does need work. They were telling us like, look, make sure that you give us enough feedback about this feature, because we need to know what needs to be improved. Now, also, when you do enable SmartZOI and you go around the world, everybody has thoughts. Everybody does a whole bunch of stuff. You have lost Zois that's looking around. They don't know what's really going on, and you got people like help them out, and there's people that argue and just talk, and you can just see each and every single thought of those Zois. And if you really want to have that super immersive experience, then you can get that as well. It's a really cool added feature. It's not perfect, it does need work, but based off of what I played and based off of what I've seen and what I've experienced with SmartZOI, I think that is a step in the right direction if you want super hyper realism to the point where like those characters have their own thoughts. It's very much in the early stages. I really can't wait to see what it looks like in the future and what it can be, because based off of what I've seen, I like it, it's cool, but it needs a lot of work. And that is something that I don't want to just say this is perfect. It's no, but it is a amazing feature that adds into a very just new feeling, very realistic feeling to this game that really enhance the real life experience. All right, so next let's discuss build mode. Now, build mode, I am not as experienced at build mode at all. I am not a builder. I tried my absolute hardest to try to become a builder in this game, and just like how I am in The Sims, I am terrible. So don't look at me too much for build mode, but I'm going to talk about a couple features. I'm just going to show you guys, just looking around some of this footage, what you can potentially build in this game. Now, build mode is very, very, very cool. It is just as customizable as Create-A-Zoi. So there are a lot of things that you can customize. You can customize different layers of each object that you have. So when you have a couch, you can customize the legs of the couch. You can customize the base of the couch, the pillows, same thing with the bed. Like flowers, you can actually customize the color of the base and also the flower as well. There's a lot of things you can do. You can also add in custom paintings and things like that in your game. Now, like I said, there is an AI feature. I rarely use the AI feature. I use more of the load texture feature where I'm actually just able to go in and download something from Google that I like. So as you can see in my home, I got my picture of my cats on the wall. I kind of got one of my favorite albums of all time. Just to have my Zoe get really cool with the people at Zog and have them like model for them and stuff. So I kind of have that as well. So things like this that are able to be added into the game are just amazing. There's a lot of stuff you can do, a lot of stuff you can add. There's also an AI feature where you're able to take a picture of an object in your home and put it inside of your game. So I scanned my Aemon Targaryen Funko Pop. I took a picture of it and I was like, okay, let me see what this looked like. And it looked okay when I scanned it, but then when I saw it in person, I'm like, hold on. In game, it looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The things that you're able to create and the things that you're able to do in build mode is insane. Like the build mode is so customizable. It's a lot of stuff to do. The canvas was not open for me, so I'm so upset that I was not able to get those really, really cool buildings and structures that a lot of people that are very, very talented in making. But there are different presets when you go into the game. So if you load into an empty lot, there are different preset homes that you can choose from that look really good. I know all of them aren't there from the last playtest. Some of them look different. Like I said, this is a playtest build, so I'm not going to say too much about the things that aren't in there because I want to see what comes in early access. And that's when we can really talk about the game and really talk about, okay, what is this? What's added? What's new? When the canvas opens up, I know that's going to be a completely different experience, mainly because the canvas is where I'm able to see things from other people that might be more creative than I am. But let's go into the things that I did not like in InZOI. The bugs. Oh my goodness, were there bugs in this playtest? And I'm gonna talk about each and every one of them in this video. Let's just say before I get into this, Krafton, I appreciate you for me being able to be honest about these bugs. All right, so when it comes to bugs, I have a whole list of bugs right on the right side of my screen. I'm gonna read these off to you guys. There is one bug that stands out among a lot of them, and one of the biggest bugs that I encountered was when you create your Zoi in game. And this was something that they said they were going to work on as soon as I sent it. So I mean, this was probably an issue or probably something that they talked about internally, but there's an issue where once you create your Zoi and you put them in the game, some features do not appear like they do in the game. So I know it's a bug because the person that's in the same household looks how they look inside of Create-A-Zoi. So it is very interesting to see that like certain Zois look how they look in CAS, and then when you get out of CAS, they don't look the same. It is a very hit or miss sometimes with that, and I really do hope they get that improved and fixed. Like I said, this is the playtest build, it's not the early access build, so I hope these things are added. That was a huge one for me because that Zoi did not look how they looked, and I really wanted to get an outside shot of the Zoi, but the features just did not make any sense. But for the male Zoi, he looked exactly how he looks inside of CAS, and I can say that about a lot of the other Zois in the game. It's just that one in particular that one just didn't look right. I don't know what is going on. But gameplay, one of the things in this game that I noticed almost immediately is the fact that I am not able to see surrounding cars when I hop inside of my car. So I would get inside of the car, and as soon as I press the W key, all the cars disappear. It's like no cars there. Previously in the playtest, I got in the car, I was stuck in traffic. Now the traffic just goes. Now I don't know if they did this for optimization purposes, so a lot of people can play it and not have to, you know, sacrifice so much performance, but it is a very huge bug because it's like, what is going on here? Why am I getting in the car and there's no cars around? What happened? Another thing, speaking of things disappearing, the draw distance in the game is not that great. Now the draw distance, I have a 4090. I'm running this game maxed out. The draw distance is one of the things that shine the most because I'm able to see something that's very, very far away in its highest fidelity. That's the whole point of me having a 4090 is to play 4K maxed out, seeing things from far away, super sharp, look great. But as I'm panning the camera, and I addressed this, I think the first day that I got it, automatically you can tell there's pop-in issues, there's certain meshes and buildings that aren't like fully there. I recommended them, instead of, you know, making it and sacrificing it for everybody, I say do like an HD texture pack, like I believe Kingdom Come Deliverance did, where the people that have those specs can download this, you know, added texture pack through Steam. You'll be able to have a little bit more fidelity with your game. That way people that have the normal relative affordable specs and the people that have the super beefed up high-end specs can, you know, have a very good experience in their own way, instead of it all having it be kind of conjoined into one another. Daytime lighting is beautiful. It is absolutely amazing. The daytime lighting in this game looks really good, but when you go home and it's the nighttime, the image breaks apart a lot. It is a very flat image at night, and the reason why I believe so is in the game, the lighting of the game, because they have, you know, different positions and you can level the floors and things like that. I think the ray tracing kind of takes the data from around the world and does the lighting, right? So if you pan down and the roof is cut off at the top, then you get to see like how the game and how the room looks throughout the perspective of your Zoi, and then you can look at how the game looks through the perspective of, you know, you playing it. But lighting does bleed through other rooms, so you can have a lamp in this room and then you can have another lamp in this room, and you put the walls up, so you got two different lamps here, but this lamp would bleed through the wall, not through the door, but through the wall, and it'll be there. And I'm like, we need to fix that. We can't have that. We can't, because it'll make rooms very bright, like super duper bright. And I don't know if that is something, because daytime lighting is like insane, as y'all can see. It's just that nighttime lighting, man, where my Zois don't look good at all. I mean, even turning off the lights and trying to get the lighting right the best way that I can isn't perfect. And I do hope that they look at that, because we need to keep all the fidelity. We need to make sure that when we're going from room to room, the lighting looks well in day and at night, because this is a realistic, very high quality, ray traced used game, and I want it to look great so it doesn't feel like people can only enjoy the game in its highest fidelity in the daytime. So that is something that graphically I do really want to get changed. There's a lot of shadows that flicker and things like that, and one thing that I remember is with Cyberpunk 2077, this was an issue before ray reconstruction was introduced. So I mentioned maybe add in ray reconstruction that might fix the problem. Let's talk about gameplay a little bit more. And Zois, they will wash dishes in the bathroom. I know. That is a meme waiting to happen because so many people are like, yeah, we want better AI with InZOI, and we don't want people washing dishes in the bathroom. Well, they do it in this one too. So another gameplay issue is that Zois, a lot of the time they wanted to add in multitasking, and they did. They added in multitasking. You're able to sit while you're talking. You're able to, you know, like just do a lot of things at once, differently than you were able to do in the first playtest that I was able to play. But now for some reason Zois will do nothing but sit down and talk. So you will be right in front of somebody, you want to talk to them, and they'll just go into an entirely different room, and then you'll sit down and talk. Especially at the furniture store, employee at the furniture store, so not sit down on the furniture that they're selling and have a conversation. I've never seen that. I've been to IKEA a lot of times. Not one time have I ever seen any of the IKEA employees sit down at the display table and have a conversation. I've never seen that. I've only seen that with customers. Customers maybe can do it, employees no. But like, that is something that I noticed as well that just didn't make any sense at all. Those are some of the things. Like I said, this game is coming out in early access, so they're basically presenting the game to us in a way that they're saying, tell us what's wrong, right? One of the things that I really appreciate about K-June, the developer, is the fact that he put a big emphasis on, please don't hype this game up, tell me what's broken. And I respect that. I can go and I can say, man, I really like this, but man, y'all kind of missed the mark on this one, or I really want this to be added. And they open up that communication, and with them releasing in the early access for everybody, they're saying they want the opinion of the world and say, what life simulation game do you want? This is what I have in mind. Now it's up to us as a community to flesh this out, be a community, talk about the things we don't like, add in the things that we do, have a conversation, be a community, and make this life simulation game game the game that we want it to be. I really appreciate y'all for watching this video. It's a quick breakdown of basically the experience that I had in InZOI, because we have so much content with this game. I am very, very, very excited to be able to showcase this game to you all, play this game with you all. I started this channel when I first did the InZOI video. I had 1,000 subs. We are very close to 50,000 subscribers in 6 months. So you guys have been showing nothing but love, and I'm going to make sure I lock in and give y'all the best content with this game possible. So make sure y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe button down below. Let me know some things that you've seen or some things that you want to know about, some video ideas. Let me know down below, because we are about to have an amazing time with this game. I appreciate y'all. New World out. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.